Hello, this is Soundout here, and today we're taking a look at new Sonic the Hedgehog figures from Jakks Pacific. It's morphin' time! Alright, so we're looking at a whole bunch of new figures from Sonic the Hedgehog by Jakks Pacific. Now, as you may know from previous videos, I tend to just lump all these together now. It's a little bit easier on my production schedule, and also I feel like I don't have enough to talk about these individually, so they're all in one video. Today we're taking a look at the new 2.5-inch figures, including Classic Sonic with a chili dog. Normally I don't buy variants like this, but it's Classic Sonic with a chili dog. And then we also have Mighty, the armadillo, now in 2.5. We've got a Buzz Bomber, which is just like the Moto Bug from the last wave, kind of works with the 4-inch figures better. And then we have a Dr. Eggman, who looks honestly kind of small. Kind of smaller than he should, but you know, he is 2.5 inches. There also is this Tails where his tails aren't flying. I did not pick him up because, well, like I said, I don't usually get character variants. But chili dog. Anyways. We're also going to take a look at the 4-inch Neon Sonic. Again, don't usually buy variants like this, but Yellow Chaos Emerald. So we got that, and then we also have the brand new, the lovely Amy Rose. Much requested figure. I get comments about, oh, when are they going to make Amy? Probably weekly on my videos. So she's finally here, and hopefully she won't be the last new character for a while. The rest of the wave, as you can see, is neon versions of Tails and Knuckles. So mostly kind of, you know, repacks. Tails' tails are in a different position, I did notice, than the original version, but they are mostly the same figures, but in different colors. But yeah, so this is essentially what we're going over. So if you're not interested, sorry, this is what the video is about. But if you are, we're going to crack into it. Let's just knock out the 2.5-inch first, then we'll talk about the 4-inch figures. Alright, so here they are. So first up, let's look at the Buzz Bomber. Probably the one that more people are interested in because, again, it looks more like a 4-inch scale, but released in the 2.5-inch line. He's got a little stand, comes off if you want, but it does keep him a little bit floated. And his little wings articulate, which is pretty neat. The body also turns, but... oh, and the thrusters. But the head, I think, is stuck, which is kind of weird. You think the head would move too, but yeah, it's a neat little Buzz Bomber. Nothing too complicated there, but pretty dang cool. Next up, let's talk about the Classic Sonic with the chili dog. It's a Classic Sonic, much like the other 2.5-inch figures, very little articulation, just kind of some elbows and knees. I don't even think his fist rotates here, so he's kind of just going, yeah, chili dog. But yeah, look at that chili dog. I gotta say, in terms of chili dog detail right there, let's see if the camera can focus on it. That is like one detailed little chili dog for a 5-inch or a $5 2.5-inch Sonic figure. I'm very, very impressed. So I'm actually pretty pleased with this purchase. But that's pretty much that. And then here we got Mighty. Mighty looking cool. I love the fact I own two Mighty the Armadillo action figures now. The 4-inch and now this one. Because, yeah, this is a character that was in complete limbo for so long, but thanks to Sonic Mania, he's made an appearance. Now, Jakks, we've got two Mighties. Can we get Ray for both? Please! And then lastly, what was actually kind of a surprise was the Dr. Eggman. I don't remember if this is a repack or if it's the first time he's coming out, or somewhat, but I haven't looked at him on this channel. The Eggman actually surprised me, because with the others you get like a little minimal articulation on these. So his hips move, which, you know, is what we'd expect. But his arms are actually fully articulated like the 4-inch figure is. I think the wrists don't turn, but the elbows bend and rotate, the shoulders move, and all that. So pretty cool. And I'd say he's a little small, considering he's like the same height as everybody else. But in terms of tiny Dr. Eggman figures, you really can't be beat there. Alright, so here's Chili Dog Sonic with the previous 2.5-inch Classic Sonic. Here's Mighty with his 4-inch counterpart. I gotta say, I like the two fists on Mighty here. I kind of like his overall pose. A little bit better than the 4-inch version. And of course, 2.5-inch Eggman with 4-inch Eggman, where you can see they're practically the same sculpt. It looks like they may have just shrunk the sculpt, taken out a couple of the joints, like the wrist joints and the leg joints. But yeah, they almost look pretty much the same. It's kind of amazing. And then here's the Buzz Bomber next to a 4-inch figure, as well as the Moto Bug from the last 2.5-inch series. And here they are on a playset. Like I said, the Buzz Bomber kind of really just works better with the 4.5-inch figures. But the rest of the playset looks good with, you know, Sonic and Mighty. Having Eggman up on the hill there kind of helps force perspective it into looking not as tiny. But yeah, that's them on the playsets, and that's pretty much the 2.5-inch figures we had to talk about today. So we're going to look at the least new part of the new wave, which is Neon Sonic. So this is a Sonic that is done up in a neon color scheme, sort of similar to some of the power-ups and various things we've seen in the games, but it's mostly just taking all of his colors and making them bright neon colors. Now, of note, this is the second version of the Sonic sculpt, which I think was of some of the repacks at different accessories. I didn't really pay too much attention to those, but if you compare him to the original Sonic from Wave 1 of the articulated line, as you can see, he's got an open hand on this side, whereas this one had a closed fist. So he's got basically opposite hands, and then he's smiling on the opposite side, and he's got teeth here where he doesn't have teeth there. So that kind of idea, but otherwise, basically the same figure. Yeah, so, you know, same basic Sonic. I really don't know what else to say. The colors look neat. I don't think I'll be picking up Tails and Knuckles just because, well, I don't know what to do with this after I'm done. The main reason I got this, if you didn't catch it in the beginning, is the yellow Chaos Emerald, because, hey, you know, this is how we're doing Chaos Emeralds. I think the only Chaos Emeralds that have come with a new figure was the green one that came with the first release of Knuckles, and then the red one came with Super Shadow, but the blue one, I think, came with a repack of Knuckles, and then a purple one came with a repack of Sonic, so I don't mind necessarily that the yellow one came with Neon Sonic, because at least that's a different figure than when I got blue and purple, where they're the same exact figures. And hey, we're nearly there. We've got 5 of them, so like 2 more emeralds, and you know, maybe a Master Emerald in a playset or something. But yeah, it was worth getting this guy to get this the 5th emerald here, and hopefully the last 2 emeralds come out with something that's a variant as opposed to just, here's a figure you already have, again. But yeah, that's our Chaos Emerald progress so far. Here she is, Amy Rose. It's wave 5 of the line, I think. Wave 6, maybe, if you include the repacks. And we finally have our first female Sonic character as an action figure in the line. And appropriately, it's Amy, but boy, has this just felt like an eternity. I really feel like this is a figure that should have been much earlier in the line. Amy is a very prominent character in Sonic. While she's not part of like the initial trio of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, she did debut way back in Sonic CD, and she's become a major character, especially in shows like Sonic Boom, where she is essentially, you know, the 4th member of the group. She's prominent in the comics. She's a very prominent character, and the fact that it's taken this long to get her in the line is a little ridiculous. I think Peach ended up in the World of Nintendo line faster than Amy got into the Sonic line. But I'm glad she's finally here. She is the only like new figure of wave 6 of the 4.5-inch figures, but she is very, very nice. Brand new sculpt, as we'd expect, and honestly, probably the best Amy Rose action figure that's been produced. So going over the details, as you can see, she's got a nice smiling expression. It's not too, like, you know, when they do open mouths on action figures, sometimes they look a little creepy. I think this one does a very good job here. And honestly, she looks good. I think it's an overall good head sculpt. Because of the hair, though, her head's only going to turn a little bit, but honestly, that's fine. The shoulders also move. She's got wrist swivels, got hips. The hips move forward. She's got knee joints. The camera's having trouble because she's bright pink. You got a knee joint here, and then the boot also is on a ball joint. So she's got about the same articulation as any other characters, which is great. I always hate when the women characters of a toy line end up with, you know, less articulation for various reasons. So I'm glad that they, you know, gave her the full range that the others have. So yeah, she looks great. Honestly, I think the skirt is probably a little flared out, probably a little too much. It should be a little flatter, but, and it also helps with, you know, there is no restriction in her legs, so she's good to go. But yeah, overall, I think, honestly, it's just I'm glad that she's here. I hope, you know, this is opening the doors to get the other female characters from the Sonic franchise. I would really like to see Rouge the Bat, Blaze the Cat in particular, and some of the ones from the comics would be great, like Tangle, Whisper, Jewel, Belle. Of course, she also comes with an accessory. If you hadn't noticed yet, she comes with her Pico Pico hammer. And this is great because all the other accessories that the other figures would come with the exception of like the repack of Sonic with the snowboard, they can't really use them. Most of the time it's just like, oh hey, here's a, you know, spike trap, and then they just can land on it or something. So to get an accessory that can be held after having a bunch of figures with open hands and nothing to hold in them, I mean, heck, even these Chaos Emeralds are bigger than they technically should be, and the characters can't hold them. So, you know, it's just really nice to finally see an accessory that's, you know, meant to be used by a figure. And the nice part, too, is that it doesn't throw off her balance. They made it kind of a lighter material, so while it sometimes will cause her arm to swing down, if you have it up like this, where she's ready to just, you know, bash something, it's not going to go anywhere. And overall, that's the thing I can give the credit to Jakks specific, is they engineered an Amy Rose figure that's not going to fall over. They made her proportions correct, because I have the old Jazzwares Amy Rose, and without this stand, she would, you know, first of all, Jazzwares is terrible joints. As you can see, her knee is just messed up. That is from like day one. That is day one damage right there. But she does not balance very well because of her design. So I gotta say, this is just, again, just like with all the other figures, I have all these Jazzwares Sonic figures, but yeah, Jakks specific takes it out of the park here. So overall, I'm pretty happy with Amy here. And here's Amy with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. I could bring all the 4-inch figures out, it's just gonna get a little crowded, but you can see that she scales well with the other characters. And again, she's kind of like the unofficial 4th member. I know that, you know, Sonic Heroes teams are essentially how we group the characters nowadays. And in that case, you know, we just, you know, need the rest of Team Rose. But I gotta say, I'm really happy that we finally got Amy in the line, and I hope this is opening the door to more characters, and especially more female characters, because that's something that there's only a few of in Sonic, so there's no reason we shouldn't get them. And yeah, I'm really happy. I'm just really happy with this figure overall. Alright, so that does it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and leave a comment down below and tell me what character you want to see next. My personal pick right now is Ray the Flying Squirrel. We've gotten 2 figures of Mighty now, so it's time to get Ray. And then after that, of course, Rouge the Bat and Blaze the Cat. And then all the others, because there's plenty of other characters to make. And on that, I hope that the trend of 1 new figure and 3 repaints isn't a continuing thing, it's just for this wave, because last wave did have 2 new molds and then 1 sort of retool, so there was kind of 3 new figures. So I'm kind of hoping that we get back to 2 new figures and 2 repacks, because I think that's the best way to do it. I also want to see more Badniks in the 2.5-inch line, because it's actually really cool. I'm really happy with the Motobug and the Buzz Bomber. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you haven't yet, there's plenty of other Sonic Jakks reviews on my channel. I recently did the Death Egg Robot, as well as the previous wave of figures. So if you want to check that out, they're in my channel and at the playlist at the end of the video. Also be sure to check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for your news and more, and my awesome graphic designer on Twitter at darkclaw643. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.